Good evening. Welcome to Columbia Heights Public Schools Independent School District 13 School Board meeting for Tuesday, September 24th, 2019. I'd like to call the meeting to order and ask you to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Thank you and welcome, everybody. Laura, if you would roll call, please.
Mueller. Here. Severson.
Here.
Larkin.
Here.
Lewis.
Here.
Samurai.
Here.
Palmer. Here. And Superintendent Kathy Kelly.
Here.
Okay, thank you. Our mission statement, creating worlds of opportunity for each and every learner. All belong, all succeed. Our core values are community, excellence, collaboration, integrity, respect, courage, and innovation. Next up would be the agenda approval, adjustments, announcements, and correspondence, starting with the approval of the agenda. If I could get a motion to move that forward, please.
So moved.
Molly?
Second.
Natty, any discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? That motion carries. Announcements, October 8th at 7 p.m. there'll be a school board meeting here in the community room. October 15th at 5:30 there'll be a work session, again here in the community room. October 17th and 18th there's no school. October 22nd at 7 p.m. there'll be a regular school board meeting. Next up would be correspondence. Superintendent Kelly, is there any correspondence this evening?
Mr. Chair and members, there's no correspondences tonight.
Okay, thank you. Communication to the board. At this time, any citizen or employee may briefly address the school board. The board will listen to brief remarks, ask clarifying questions, and if desired, request that administration follow up. The board will not take action at this meeting on requests presented at this time. Nobody? Okay, anybody there? Next up would be the consent agenda, which includes the personnel report. If I get a motion to move that forward, please.
So moved.
Paula? Thank you.
Second.
Natty, any discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Next up would be acknowledgement of contributions. As normal, we'll do a motion, a second, read it, and then open it for discussion. So looking for a motion to move that forward.
So moved.
Lorian?
Second.
And seconded by Molly. And it reads as follows. Acknowledgement of contribution resolution. Whereas Minnesota Statute 123B.02 permits the school board to receive for the benefit of the district bequests, donations, or gifts for any proper purpose and apply the same to the purpose designated. In that behalf, the board may act as trustee of any trust created for the benefit of the district and for the benefit of the pupils thereof. Therefore, be it resolved by the School Board of Columbia Heights Public Schools Independent School District Number 13 that the school board accepts with appreciation the contributions detailed in the background in the amount of $4,824. And the background includes under monetary, a donation of $500 was made to Valley View Elementary by Diane Rothler for student needs. A donation of $550 was made to Valley View Elementary by Merrill Lynch for student needs. And the following donation was made to Columbia Heights High School Scholarship Program, $1,500 from George Holt. Value in kind. Donations of school supplies was made to Valley View by Mark Emmy for student needs, estimated value $140. Donation of school supplies was made to Valley View Elementary by Merrill Lynch for student needs, estimated value $850. Donation of bike and scooters was made to Valley View Elementary by Peg Nelson for the Phi Ed education for the Phi Ed department, estimated value $140. Donation of balls and toys was made to Valley View Elementary by Jennifer Greenfield for student needs, estimated value $40. Donation of school supplies was made to Columbia Academy and Valley View by Greg and Lana Burr for student needs in memory of their son Christopher, estimated value $75. Donations of 42 backpacks with school supplies was made to North Park Elementary by Kraus Anderson for student needs, estimated value $650. A donation of school supplies was made to Valley View Elementary by Georgina Martineau and, Argosy Gamita for student needs, estimated value $25. Donations for school supplies was made to Valley View Elementary by the Faldine American Legion for student needs, estimated value $75. Donation of school supplies was made to Highland Elementary by Faulding American Legion for student needs, estimated value of $30. And donations of supplies was made to Columbia Academy by Francis Lewenstein for student needs, estimated value $249. Total fiscal year 2019-2020 monetary contributions to date, $10,311.97. Discussion, comments?
It's very much appreciated.
Okay. Yeah, this is always kind of a fun one to read, so. Anybody else?
Just a thank you.
Yeah, thank you is a good one. Okay, with that being said, this is a resolution, so to accept, Laura, if you would, a roll call, please.
Mueller.
Aye.
Severson.
Aye.
Larkin.
Aye.
Lewis. Aye. Samurai.
Aye.
Palmer. Aye.
Okay, motion carries, thank you. Next up would be reports of members of the board. Board members will report on board activities since the last regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Education. Lorian?
Sure.
If you would, please.
Since our last meeting, I've actually had been pretty busy personally, but attended middle school football games, 2 of those, and a girls' swim meet. Participated in the work session last week and have had several conversations with community members.
Thank you. Nan?
Yeah, I've been to a couple of sporting events. I've got to see the tennis team and the football team a couple of times since our last meeting. I had a chair meeting right before this, and then, like the rest, work session last week, and also conversations with community members.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I also did some sporting events, attended JV and varsity football games, and Columbia Academy's volleyball team had a few matches. And I also participated in the work session last week. That's it.
Thank you. Paul?
I participated in the work session, and I had some conversations with community members.
Okay, thank you. Laura?
I'm the same for me, just a work session and some community members. I was pretty busy in my personal life, so didn't get out there to get to interact with the kids, which is, I miss.
All right. Okay, thank you. I attended a football game, had a couple chair meetings, the work session, a couple meetings with the superintendent, and a couple meetings with other board members. Thank you for your time, so. and
Don,
that-
can I also just comment too, I admitted I was at the city council meeting last night as
Okay.
the school board liaison,
Okay.
so I was able to be on their agenda to give a report as well.
Okay, that went good. Thanks. And that's my report. Superintendent's report.
Mr. Chair and members, the district continues to meet with local 710 on teacher negotiations. The Executive Construction Committee is meeting on a monthly basis on both the high school and the North Park construction projects, and you can see the walls are going up. So it's kind of a nice thing happening over here. The Director of HR and the Activities Director and I attended an all-day school law conference on Friday, and it was put on by Rupp, Anderson, and Squires, and there was some really interesting information that's new in Title IX regarding discrimination issues, particularly with the hashtag the Me Too movement and the implications for what it has for schools. And then they had some things on social media as it relates to First Amendment rights. There was a very good section on special education, which I shared with Executive Director Zena Stenvig, that we're going to use in our school discipline committee, that went into all of the ins and outs of everything having to do with suspensions as they relate to special education. So it was a great conference. Monday, I just had a really kind of a fun morning. I had the opportunity to go down to Valley View and visit. I wanted to see the new Victory program as it's been restored and remodeled, and to tour the building and see what was going on. So it was great. It was the first time that I have actually met the therapy chicken in the Valley View Media Center. It was really fun, and the chicken was very nice to me, and I appreciated the chicken as well. So I participated in the communications audit today at the superintendent level, and I know all of you will be participating in that tonight. And then I attended the school board work study, chair meetings, and I met with multiple members of the school board, and that concludes my report, and thanks for your time.
Okay, thank you. Next up would be the informational item, district-wide radon testing results.
Chair Larkin and members of the board, Superintendent Kelly. This evening, I have our manager of buildings and grounds, Alex Wynn, with me to present our district radon testing results. As always, our mission, Columbia Heights Public Schools, creating worlds of opportunity for each and every learner. All belong, all succeed. Core values, we're looking at, it takes a lot of collaborative effort working with different groups to complete all these health and safety items and keep on track with them. And of course, the integrity to do what's right and follow the rules, report out, make sure that we're following through with everything, particularly with these hazardous items like radon. There's no governance here. This is an information item. It's one of those things that per statute we are supposed to report to the board our testing results, and we will provide more information on that now.
Thank you, Director Hennekens. So Minnesota statute 123B.571, any school district that receives health and safety funding revenue to conduct radon testing must conduct it according to our radon testing plan. And if there are two choices, short-term, which must be conducted between November 1st and March 31st. There also is long-term testing that at least half of the results must be between November 1st and March 31st. So here's a look at our testing procedures. We did decide to go with the short-term choice for testing, which consists of a 3-day consistent testing. Then the results are given back to us. The areas that are mostly tested would be ground level rooms or anything underground or below grade. And then we would get the results, and anything that is above 4 picocurie will automatically be retested. Once we get those results, then we adjust our ventilation and retest until it's under 4 picocurie, which is the MDH's level of safe radon levels. And then we report to the Department of Health and then present it before school board. And we have all of our results posted in every main office and as well in building and grounds office for community and staff to look at. And we placed 312 total radon detectors district-wide between November 26th and December 13th of last year. And here are the rooms that were tested high above 4 picocurie. 3 at the high school, 6 in the family center, and 2 at Highland Elementary. And again, the process is MDH will give us or lend us a data logger for the 48-hour window, which is, and then we get the results back and see if anything is still higher than 4 picocurie. And again, if it is, then we adjust our ventilation as such with our energy management company. And then once that's under 4 picocurie, then we can go to the next process. So this is after our first remediation, where everything thankfully was under 4 picocurie and our, so any questions?
Yeah, really, that's it. It's that simple. Test it. If it's high, remediate, move more air, adjust the ventilation, and get it below the number. And if it doesn't, then there's next steps. Fortunately, that we don't have that. So it's just a matter of managing that system runtime, so removing the red air.
Is there a continuation of checking this as we move forward, or once we get to that point, we're good to go, or?
We're good to go until next testing. We just make sure that we manage those spaces. We have defined run times for those spaces, and which is just extended beyond what a normal day run time is for many of the other classrooms. And so there isn't any need to continue to test, and then we just test again next time.
And when is the next time that you'll test?
Every 5 years.
Every 5 years.
Yes.
I was gonna say. I
Every
missed
5
that.
years.
So in 5 years.
So, and we've been doing this since the late 90s, maybe even mid-90s. So there are many districts that haven't, you know, but we've been one that we've been testing for a very long time, so.
So in your process, this is the reporting out to the board,
Yeah,
and
this
all
is
this
the-
stuff
yep.
is available or will be?
Yes.
It already is actually available on sites. So it's just the next step before we give the results to Minnesota Department of Health. We have to report to you guys first.
Okay.
So when you adjust the ventilation and move the air around, are you moving it to different places in the building or outside?
It's just air exchange outside.
Outside.
Outside, okay. So it's not like, hey, too much radiation here, let's move it around.
Yeah.
Spread it out.
No.
Make it easy.
Yeah, it's,
Put it back in
obviously,
nature.
I think we've all
Stay in
heard the
nature.
news, it's naturally occurring in Minnesota, quite prevalent, and they recommend homes be tested because it is around, and so, and of course, we're a very big facility, so we're no different. Fortunately, we just have a couple areas, or 3 areas and 3 different buildings, which is not very big areas that we have to handle, so. And luckily, we're easily able to handle it, so.
Anybody else have any questions? Okay, thanks for letting us know.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
thank you.
Okay, we are now on to our action items. First up is the insurance renewal.
Oops, sorry. Good evening, Chair Larkin, members of the board, Superintendent Kelly. This agenda item is for the renewal of the insurance, and Steve McAlpin came to the board work session last Tuesday, so he presented to you, and I did not invite him to come tonight. I thought we had enough discussion, but if you need anything, I could call him if you have any questions. But I have before you the renewal of the insurance, and the total for the annual premium is $138,834, and that's an increase of 12.31%. So it's for the property, liability, and all the other insurance for the district.
Okay, start with a motion and a second, then open this up for discussion if we could.
So moved.
Laura?
Second.
Lori? Okay, discussion, questions?
You're all looking at me. I think just, we had a pretty lengthy conversation. So I think for those people that are watching at home, we had I think a really good discussion during our work session regarding the insurance. And I think to point out, if you think of a 12.31% increase, it may be high, but insurance percent, that's, I mean, they're increasing. Insurance costs are going up for everybody. But we've also added additional coverage in terms of our property coverage. So we increased our limits. So that has a good part of why that increase is as high as it is. So.
Yep, and it's within budget, well within budget, so,
Yep.
yep.
One more clarifying question as well, too. And then the cyber liability that used to be in our original policy, but they're no longer offering that, so we have an additional policy, too, which I'm
Yeah.
sure also makes a little bit of a difference in the cost. But increasing our coverage is definitely, because we are under, we're going to inch it up to try to make sure that we're fully covered. So I'm glad we're taking more of a conservative approach, but making efforts to get to that point where we're fully covered.
Anybody else? Questions or comments? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? That motion carries. Up you stay. Okay. 2020 preliminary levy.
Okay. Chair Larkin, members of the board, Superintendent Kelly, I have before you the 2019 pay 2020 levy. And let me get it, I have a PDF here. Let me see if I can get it to show on the screen good enough. No. So this is the same thing that you saw at the board work session with an additional, I added the adjustments column on both years because you guys requested that. There were big changes on the adjustments, so it was hard to see when I only had the certified payable 2019 comparing it to 2020. The numbers are pretty close to the same. This is the third run of the levy. It changed just by a tiny bit. So the general fund is increasing by $396,930. And those are the items 1 through 17 that are in the general fund. And you can see the first three, the equity revenue, the local optional revenue, and the referendum, they have some adjustments that last year were pretty big negatives, and this year they kind of went the other way. Some of them lower, negative, and then some positive ones also on the second line. But these adjustments are due to pupil unit changes, formula changes with the state. So every year there's going to be adjustments because we do estimates. So for 2 years back and 2 years ahead, so there's always adjustments. So for the top section, it went from, we had $1,062,472 on just under line 5 there, the subtotal, and now we only have a negative $158,000 of adjustments. So that's why that swing is there. And the other one that I was explaining to you, we talked about it, but you couldn't see it, was on line 15. There's the lease levy. Every year our lease levy it should be steady. You can see the local levy on 19, it's $781,000, and then the local levy on 2020 is $780. That should be steady. Well, last year there was a $495,000 adjustment, a positive one, and that was an error on the calculation, on the levy calculation. That wasn't our fault. So they took the adjustment off this year, so that's why that swing there, the difference on line 15 of $970,000. So, but other than that, on the general fund, you guys saw all of that. Then the next page is the other funds. So I'll get you to the next page here. This is the community service fund. And there wasn't, the only change, the real big change in there was from the adjustment in school-age care from 2019. Last year we had a big adjustment. Now that adjustment is based just on expenditures. So did we spend it all? And that was from 2 years ago. And so we hadn't spent it. And so now this year there's a positive adjustment. So really the whole swing in the community ed fund is the $80,955 is from school-age care. The rest of the levy's pretty standard because it's based on population. That doesn't change. And well, this year it will because we're going to have a new population, but it's been the same since 2010. Then we have the capital projects levy, and that was a voter-approved levy to do deferred maintenance projects, and that's in Fund 6. So you can see the increase there. Then the debt service levy is all of the bond payments, and those are all voter-approved also. And so that fund is decreasing $41,680. So overall, the proposed levy is increasing $528,155.24. So that's a percent change of 5.28. So if you have any questions, I would try to answer them. Yeah.
All right, let's start by putting it on the table for discussion. If I can get a motion to move this forward, please.
So moved.
Maureen?
Second.
Natty? Okay. Discussion, question, comments?
I think I'll make another comment. I think, again, we had a long conversation about this during our work session last week, so we're not just seeing this for the first time. And that percent change of 5.28% really is due largely in part to the adjustments that were being made. If you remember our levy from last year, there was a decrease because of those adjustments. And this year, it's almost like bringing it back, making it normalized again at this point. So a lot of that's due to adjustments that really aren't within our control, correct?
Correct.
Anybody else? Questions or comments? And we're levying at the max, yes?
Yep, so, yep, you have to levy the max so that we can capture any changes that might
Any
happen
changes that take
before
place.
December, yep.
Okay. All right. No additional questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? That motion carries. Thanks, Denise.
Thank you.
Next up is the National School Board Association Annual Conference. I think that's me. And per policy 214, out-of-state travel by school board members, we're asking for prior approval of up to 2 school board members to attend the National School Board Association Annual Conference in Chicago in April of 2020. The expenditures are already reflected in the current school board budget. So we'll start with a motion to move that forward.
So moved.
Molly?
Second.
Lorian? Questions, comments, discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? That motion carries. Anybody have anything for board topics? Football game Friday?
Football game Friday, but I was trying to think of things that would be coming up because our next meeting's not till the 8th. So I landed on a couple. Looks like we talked about this in our chair meeting, but the National Honor Society induction is on the October 10th, so that's just right after our next meeting. And then homecoming is the following day on the 11th. So we'll be doing fireworks again.
Yes.
So it'll be fireworks and a band and all sorts of fun. So it'd be fun to see the whole community come out.
I don't know when this will hit the air, but the fire department's open house is Saturday from 11 till 2. And I know it's a very family-friendly
This weekend?
event. This Saturday, the 28th, so if you're looking for something to do, that's going on as well.
I just wanted to call everyone's attention to your brand-new listening session sign, which is over on the table. And so I want to thank the communications department for turning it around so quickly for you. It took Natty and I, 2 of us, to put it up, but we think Lorianne can take it down in one sweep, so we'll see. But a challenge.
It's a 2-person job. It's a 2-person
So it's
job.
good that there's 2 of you at each session, and there's a little carrying case, and so you'll be all set. So thank you,
And I
communications
told
department.
Kathy we could manage to not lose it between us, so help a sister
Us,
out
me, and you
here.
He's not a part of that.
Am I the first one?
Anything else for board topics? Hearing none, we'll adjourn the meeting at 7:29.